So for those of you who ask for anti-aging tips, I want you to listen because this is really important. What's up, you guys? My name is Tess. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing a two-part video series. This will be the first part, and I am going to be revealing all of my esthetician secrets for your healthiest skin yet this summer. There's so many things that can impact the health of your skin, be it heat, friction, outdoor exercise, sun damage, different elements like traveling, drinking and eating more sugar, different climates. So we are going to dive into all of that, and I'm going to offer you all of my tips to keep your skin healthy and happy and glowing without the damage. So I hope this video isn't too all over the place. I'm going to be breaking it up into different sections, different things that can affect the skin. I didn't want it to get too long and confusing, so that's why I am breaking it up. So make sure you watch part 2 when I release it, which will be the day after this, so you don't have to wait too long, and enjoy. Don't forget to like this video if you like it, subscribe for more, and let's get into it. One of the first conditions I want to talk about, because I feel like it doesn't get enough airtime. I think people get really focused on acne, but you can also have really dry, irritated skin in the summer. A lot of things can contribute. If you are in an arid climate like a desert, Palm Springs, or Arizona, your skin can get dehydrated since it is looking for moisture wherever it can get it, so it's going to pull it out from your skin. If you are living in a hot, humid climate like Hawaii or, I don't know, a vacation spot, you might be experiencing a lot of air conditioning, definitely a lot of sun time and time in the pool. All those little elements can add up and over time have a drying, irritating effect on the skin. If you're experiencing very dry, irritated skin, you may want to consider what you are using in your home care routine. You may want to add in something like a very light oil, something that is less comedogenic, perhaps like a squalene or a plant-derived oil, something very light that will just add an extra little barrier to your skin to protect it. I'll do this, for example, if I am getting on an airplane and I know the air is going to have a very low moisture content. That's when I sort of increase the amount of layers I use on my skin so that it has more protection. So it's possible you may want to add light oils into your routine. I'm not a fan of overdoing the oils, but as needed if your skin is feeling dry. I myself, some nights of the week, I like to wear a little bit of a squalene oil over my normal moisturizer if I'm feeling exceptionally dry, and that just adds a little occlusive barrier to help seal everything in. Now, I think summertime can be extra problematic for acne-prone people, not only because we are producing more oil, but we're more likely to have that added element of heat. Heat really is acne. Acne is heat. It's born of inflammation in the follicle. So you have somebody producing more oil, you have that added element of heat. Then if you're going to go ahead and add in different elements to the mix like friction, let's take friction. Friction can occur from wearing a face mask, from wearing a hat, wearing a sports bra. You might experience breakout on the chest. That friction is exacerbating that level of inflammation and creating a problem within the follicles. You might be more likely to break out. Second tip is to make sure you are not repeatedly wearing dirty items like a sports bra or a hat or a t-shirt, a headband, a mask, whatever it is. Just make sure that you wash it after each use to ensure you're not putting that bacteria back on the skin so that it is held there for an extended period of time. Tip number 3, for those of you who are experiencing acne breakout, you are going to want to make sure you are conscious of the amount of layers you are wearing throughout the day. So as opposed to somebody who is dry and may require a little bit more light layers to maintain that occlusion and keep moisture in the skin. If you are acne prone, you already have a lot of oil in the skin, you're going to want to minimize the amount of layers on the skin. I learned this the hard way through my experience with acne, but that amount of layering is so crucial because it's going to prevent oxygen from getting to the skin. You may want to opt for a water-based oil-free moisturizer, and that way you don't have the extra occlusion of oils, or consider skipping moisturizer if you are going to apply SPF. Some people just don't need both, and it can be too problematic if you have too many layers in the routine. Tip number 4 on the topic of heat and friction, really be mindful of keeping that area clean. So let's use the face mask phenomenon as an example. Hopefully we are all wearing masks right now, but you want to ensure you are applying your mask to totally clean skin. That is important because when you put on a face mask or any item that is going to cause friction, it is creating an enclosed, heated, humid environment where your air is actually just recycled. So it's just a total breeding ground for bacteria. Of course, we still want to wear them, but it's so important you put the mask on clean skin. And when you do take it off, a tip I have is to utilize antibacterial and anti-inflammatory ingredients. One of my favorites for this is a salicylic toner, and this will ensure the area is clean and you kill any bacteria after you have been sweating and wearing that type of item on your face. Lastly, if you are exercising, make sure you jump in the shower, wash your face, cleanse your body as soon as you can after exercise. I always recommend this to my clients. Don't wait post-exercise to cleanse your skin. I think it is just allowing that bacteria to really fester on the skin. So bring your bag of your skincare products to the gym, or just do it as soon as you can right after the workout. Make sure to cleanse the area, and for extra bonus points, you can apply something like a salicylic toner to balance your pH and ensure that you are killing bacteria on the skin. My last tip on the topic of acne is to use cold wherever you can. I'm a big fan of colder rinses in the shower or when you're washing your face, using cold tools, or using a fan if you are working out in a super hot environment. A lot of us are still quarantined and we're not going to the gym per usual where there's, good circulation or air conditioning. So a lot of people are working out outdoors. Like myself, we have to be extra diligent. Try to work out in the cooler parts of the day, especially those of you who are acne prone or who are prone to getting rashes. I would recommend working out when you can stay as cool as possible. So maybe early in the morning or later in the evening. You want to try to stay as cool as you can. So fans, air conditioning, maybe perhaps a cold cloth next to you during your workout is something you can apply to your skin and just blot to keep the skin cooler and prevent that inflammation from getting out of control. The next condition I want to talk about is hyperpigmentation. I think we all have our own experience with hyperpigmentation, whether it is sunspots on the top of our hands, freckles we didn't like when we were younger, possibly a melasma patch over the top of our lip. Hyperpigmentation can be really exacerbated by heat, which I know a lot of people don't know. Other things can impact it, like hormones or birth control, but heat is one that I think doesn't get talked about enough. So what you can do when it comes to hyperpigmentation, of course, wear your sunscreen, but definitely wear your sunscreen. Make sure your skin is protected, be it SPF, physical protection. If you can do both, that is incredible. You can also use a vitamin C in your routine. That will help brighten any existing pigment and also protect the skin from free radicals and provide it with a lot of antioxidants. Vitamin C and SPF really go hand in hand. They are always part of my morning routine because they provide me that added sun protection and protection from free radical damage, pollution, all of that stuff. So I always make sure to utilize those in my home care routine. If you are looking for more extreme results, there are a number of different treatments. You can consider getting a laser from a dermatologist or a medical spa. There's a number of different lasers, and I would have a consultation if hyperpigmentation is something that's really bothering you. One I love myself is laser Genesis. It's a very gentle, non-invasive laser, so that's a favorite. Another tool I like to use in my weekly routine is a derma roller, which helps break up pigment on the skin. And I would say consult with a provider. Make sure you buy a good quality professional grade derma roller, because it can really cause a problem if it is not the right grade of material and it has a certain needle depth. So be really careful with that. But that has definitely helped with my pigment areas that bother me. There are also things like chemical peels. You can get some over the counter, or you can get a more professional grade peel from your esthetician. You want to be super diligent and careful if you are using chemical peels in the summertime. You always want to be careful, but be extra diligent about being out in the sun or being around heat after a chemical peel, but it can certainly help to lighten many types of pigment. I cannot talk about heat exposure and the damaging effects of summertime without talking about SPF. So for those of you who ask for anti-aging tips, I want you to listen because this is really important. SPF and sun protection is the number one thing you can do for anti-aging. I want to make sure you guys heard that. So if you are using retinols, if you are investing in facial massagers, if you are buying vitamin C, if you have any type of interest in maintaining the health of your skin and increasing your livelihood and the number of years you have on this earth, you need to be super diligent about your sun protection. Now, I hate to be that unrelatable person who is, on their Apple box talking about sun protection, but it is so important. If there is one thing you get from this video, this is it. Please realize that tan skin is damaged skin. There is no such thing as a healthy tan. And I remember learning that in esthetician school and kind of having my world being shattered. I am somebody who, I love the sensation of the sun. I grew up going to the beach every weekend. I went to school in Southern California. I even went to tanning beds when I was in a sorority. So I totally get it, and I know a lot of people are somewhat addicted to the feeling of being in the sun. That said, there are so many other ways to get a beautiful tan or color without damaging your skin. I'm a big advocate of self-tanner. I am wearing it now, and I think it has come so far. There are so many ways to get a gorgeous tan that doesn't look fake or have a stigma attached to it. So I am all about the mineral bronzer and a good self-tan because it makes me feel more confident. I get that. Whatever you have to do to avoid laying in the sun and tanning. I know it sounds so basic, but I have seen so many tips for tanning type of videos and vlogs lately on YouTube that it hurts my heart. And I look at these young, gorgeous YouTubers who are damaging their skin, laying in the sun, and I want to get the message out there because there's nothing more damaging you can do for your skin. So there's no such thing as applying baby oil and a type of oil and wearing a little bit of SPF to offset it. You need to make sure you are not applying oil and sitting in the sun because it will attract it. And just really whatever you can do to avoid tanning, please, please, please do it. There are two types of sunscreen, and that is mineral protection and there is chemical protection. So mineral sunscreen is going to be a physical blocker from the sun. It's going to shield you from the sun, whereas chemical sunscreen will absorb those UV rays. I have a preference for mineral, but I know there are so many different formulas out there. Honestly, I heard this at a skincare convention when I was listening to Mark Lees, who is a skincare expert and esthetician, speak, and he said, this was a question from the audience. They asked, what is the best sunscreen? And he said, the best sunscreen is the one you will wear. So don't let things like a certain formula or a white cast prevent you from wearing sunscreen. Take the time to find a formula that works for you, that doesn't break you out, that you are able to wear every single day of your life. You really, really should, and you should wear it indoors as well. If you are sitting in front of a window like I am now, I have my normal SPF on and I have a tinted sunscreen over top. When you are sitting in front of a window, when you are driving in the car, the sun's rays are magnified by the glass, so bear that in mind. Now we also know that things like LED lights or the light from our cell phone and computers can actually have an effect on the skin. So that is another reason to make sure you wear SPF every day. Put it on every morning, even if you're going to be inside most of the day. I really want to hammer in on this skin protection topic because it's really close to my heart, and my dad is somebody who has had 2 melanomas removed on his nose, and he still does not wear sunscreen on a daily basis. Every time I see him, I have to educate him on why he needs to wear it every day, and it still just does not click for him. I am really glad that SPF is being talked about as much as it is now, as opposed to when I was growing up, when he was growing up. We just didn't have the education. So now we do, and there's no excuse not to wear your sunscreen every single day of your life. I have a couple tips regarding SPF I wanted to share with you guys. The first is to keep a mineral sunscreen, a powder version, or perhaps a spray, or even a little tube, a travel size tube. Keep them on you at all times. If you are leaving your house, if you are going to be driving in the car, it's a really simple, easy way to just dust on some mineral powder. Or if you are out and about and walking, I find there are areas like my hands that I'm washing frequently that I need to make sure I am reapplying sunscreen to. It's also really important that you reapply your SPF every 2 hours, which I know sounds like a little much, and it can be annoying for women or people who wear makeup, for example. That is one of the reasons I really like a little spray or a mineral powder, so you can just dust it over your face as almost like a setting powder as you go about your day. If you are going out to lunch, leaving the office, or you are going to be out in the sun with your friends all day, that way you can reapply it without the excuse of the SPF is going to ruin my makeup. My next tip, and this is a tip that actually changed my life. I heard it from a dermatologist on a podcast, and that is to apply your SPF daily before you get dressed. So if you're somebody who notices you are getting a little bit of pigmentation on your décolleté, or you have different lines from wearing different types of t-shirts, a great tip is to apply the SPF before you get dressed. That way it is an even application and you don't have to worry about your neckline moving throughout the day or changing shirts and having different types of tan lines. Next, a tip I have for those of you who just wear SPF in your foundation and you feel like that is enough, please note that you would actually need 7 times the normal amount of the makeup to actually get the sun protection factor or the SPF that they are claiming on the label. Nobody does this, so just make sure you are wearing a separate SPF before you put on your makeup. Lastly, a great recommendation is to wear physical blockers, clothing that protects your skin from the sun. So long sleeves, a wide brimmed hat, maybe even some little driving gloves. Yes, I have driving gloves and a massive visor that covers my face when I drive. All of those elements of physical protection are really important. If I go for a run, I always make sure I am wearing a baseball cap because it is just added protection. If your SPF does sweat off or it starts to fade, then you have extra protection. You can also seek shade and just try to stay out of the sun as much as possible. Okay guys, those are my tips for having healthy, protected skin in the warmer summer months. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know if you did and like it for part 2 of my tips for having healthy skin in the summer. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you and I will see you in the next video.
Never ever meant to be so sour, baby. Running out of steam every day.